I'm in Shenandoah National Park, and this is the Buck Hollow Trailhead. It's completely full of cars. It's only 9:15 in the morning on a Saturday, so if you want to hike here, you have to get here early. That's where I'm parked. I'm like 2 feet off the edge of the road. Anyway, that's US 211. That's heading down the mountain towards Sperryville. This is heading up towards the top of the mountain at Thornton Gap. And I'm going to be going downstream today, down the Thornton River, looking for the remains of an old sawmill and a grist mill and maybe some old stacked stone fencing. The elevation here is 1,100 feet. Four-tenths of a mile into my hike, I was hiking along US 211 up there, and I found this little cleared path, so I'm taking it. It's not exactly where I want to be, but this will take me down by the river, and then I'm going to follow the river downstream looking for the head race for the watermill. I'm assuming it's still there. But I'm going to come down this way since it's convenient. I'm a little bit upstream of where I want to be. But let's get down here by the river and follow it down, see if we can find the head race, and then after that we'll follow the head race down to the ruins of the mill. Well, I'm down to the Thornton River. It's pretty nasty hiking down through here. There's all kind of prickly bushes and stuff. US 211's up that way, and this is part of the Thornton River, I think. I'm going to follow it down stream and see if I find something that looks more like a head race, and eventually we should come to the site of the old mill. Well, I'm getting close to where I was expecting to find the head race. The river's right over there behind that big tree in the center of the screen. And here's a rock pile here, pretty good sized pile of rocks. And there's another pile right over there. So I'll start looking around and see if I can find the head race. Yep, here it is, the head race. It's right, there's a pile of rocks, and over there's the other big pile of rocks. US 211's up that way. And right over there, maybe you can see it, is the river. And here's the head race. I'll walk up there. And it looks like they might have blocked it off up here where it took water in from the river. So, but here it is right here. Heading on down towards the mill. So from here we should be able to just follow this on down to where the mill was. Okay, so right here, it looks like maybe they came in here and blocked it off. There's this little raised up part of the dirt, and then there's the river right there. So the water came down around this turn here got cut into the head race right here, and then on down, and then the river's going to keep dropping. But from looking at the maps, this head race tends to follow a contour line, so the river's going to keep dropping, and this isn't going to drop much at all. So that finally, when we get down to the mill, this is going to be maybe 15-20 feet higher than the river. One mile into my hike, there's the Thornton River. Over there, maybe you can see some leftover foundations. Those look like they're concrete. And then the head race would be over this way. This is what it was like hiking through, following the head race. I got to a point where I just couldn't go any further. So I had to push my way back out to US 211. There's the entrance to the park right there. It's right across the street from this wooden fence. So I am going to work my way down there now. Down through here somehow. Easiest way I can find to get down to the river, and we'll take a look at the what's left of the old mill. Okay, well, up there's the highway. We're out 211. I'm down to the river. So here's the river, and then over here looks like where the mill was. So let's go over here and get some pics of this. Okay, well, here's the foundation for one of the mills. I don't know if this is the up-down mill or the grist mill. This might have been the grist mill, because I think that was described as being 3 stories tall. So, and then over there is where the tail race, or the head race, turns into the tail race. And it goes around and empties back into the Thornton River over there. And over there behind those trees, you can see where they armored up that side of the hill so that it wouldn't collapse into the head race. So let me get some still pictures. Well, I'm down by the river now, and there's a great big long stone wall over there on the other side. I'd like to get over there and take a closer look. I don't know. to wander around, see if I can find a place to get across. What's left of the mill is over here, and US 211's right up there. You can't see it from here. Well, believe it or not, I managed to get across the river right there. It was pretty dicey, but anyway, I'm on the other side now, and this fence extends on away from the river in that direction towards the steep part of the mountain. I'll get some pictures and take some GPS coordinates. This is a pretty big wall. It goes way down there, so for down as far as I can see. So let me get a few shots of this. Okay, now I'm standing inside the yard, inside the fenced area. It starts over there and comes down like this to a corner right there, and then it makes a 90-degree turn. Now the river's right behind that part of the wall, and then this extends on down quite a ways. I'm going to go down here to the end of it and get another GPS point. I can figure out how long this is. Pretty big. And we'll look around inside here. This is a nice flat area. So there was obviously something here. There's a shot for you right there. Those cars going by, that's US 211. It's taken me forever to get over here. The easiest way to get here would be to, I think, is to bring a pair of Crocs and just take your boots off, put your Crocs on, roll up your pants legs, and just wade across. And then sit on a rock, dry your feet off, and put your boots back on. That's going to be quicker. And you can come down here right there where you see the road. It's really steep, but you can get down here. Okay, that's how I'm going to go back and just follow the road. But yeah, wading across here is going to be the easiest thing, unless it's frozen solid, which it probably hardly ever is. It looks like some more rock piles over here behind, between the fence and the river, so I'm going to climb back over the fence and look at that too. Yeah, this is all depressed, dished out. I think this was probably a road, with the fence being there, and the road was here, and something over here with all these rocks piled up, quite a few of them. We'll go over here and check this out. Okay, well over there is the river, and right here, this looks like the corner of another structure that was here. This one's set back from the river just a little ways. And I see another pile of rocks over there, and then the fenced-in yard is right back over there. And then, like I said earlier, it looks like a road went up through there upstream. So I'll get a few stills of this too. And next to that corner of a building, right over here, is another pile of rocks. This is just your general purpose, nondescript pile of rocks where people piled them up from something. 1.4 miles into my hike. I'm still following the this great big long stone fence. I'm heading towards Sperryville. I'm within about 1/10 of a mile of the park boundary. So I think I'm just going to turn around. Maybe you can see how overgrown everything is. It's really hard making any progress, and I'm not finding anything else other than this stone wall. So it's possible that this stone wall starts at the park boundary and comes all the way up to that corner that I showed you earlier. So I'll mark this spot with my GPS. .9 miles into my hike. I still haven't crossed over the river yet. There really isn't a good place other than wading across. So I thought maybe I'd just follow the south bank. That's where I came from. Down there's the mill and stuff. And if I go up here another 1/4 of a mile, looks like it's clearing out here a little bit. If I go up this way another 1/4 of a mile, I should run into the regular trail, which has a decent crossing. So I'm going to follow it up this way until I run into the regular trail up here. .2 miles into my hike. I'm still following the south bank of the Thornton River, but a couple of 100 feet upstream is the crossing. Matter of fact, from here I can see the aluminum sign with the fishing regs on it. So, and then my car's just a short distance from there. But anyway, I wanted to, so I'm a couple of 100 feet downstream from the crossing here at Buck Hollow. I just thought I'd show you this. This is, I mean, there's a lot of blown down trees, but it's pretty cleared out and it's pretty flat. You could probably set up a backcountry camp thing here. The river's right there, so you got water. And if you wanted to, you could push your way back up there towards the steeper part of the mountain a little ways. So that's a pretty nice spot. I'll mark it on my with my GPS. This is a map of today's hike. The quadrangle name is Thornton Gap, 1994. And I was looking for the ruins of an old sawmill and grist mill. It's located right here on the south side of US 211, just a few hundred yards inside the park boundary. Here's the park boundary right here. This hike is almost identical to the hike I posted last week, except that you park in the same spot right here at the Buck Hollow Trailhead. Last week I hiked upstream this way. This hike is hiking downstream. So you park here, and I decided to start out. There was an old church that was located right here next to this stream. So I hiked on the north side of the road until I got down to here. But this area is extremely overgrown, so I wasn't really able to look for anything there. Crossed the road, came down here to the river and started looking for the head race, which is where they take the water in from the river. Found the head race and then followed the head race more or less along this contour line almost to the mill, but then there was so much overgrowth right here I basically had to bail out and backtrack some, come up on the road and come over to the mill this way and then back down to the river. So located the ruins of the mill. Then I crossed the stream because I saw a large stacked stone fence over here. Crossed over the Thornton River and explored this area. Then I decided to follow the south bank of the Thornton River all the way up to here to the Buck Hollow Trail, and then because I knew there was an easy crossing back across the river here. Back across the river, back to my car like that. Now, in some of the books I have about Shenandoah National Park, the history of it, contains a little information about this mill. Most of this information I got from a Shenandoah National Park survey dated 1946. The mill complex was built circa 1800 by a man named Jonas Clark, and there was 4 main features to it. There was an up and down sawmill, there was a grist mill, there was a shed house that contained a blacksmith shop and what they called a cider mill, which is, I found out, is actually a distillery. And there was a caretaker's cabin, which was a simple log cabin. Now let me show you one more map here. This is a Stony Man 1929 map, and that's where I figured out where the mill was located, which is right here on that map. So what I did was I got the coordinates from this point right there. Then I go to the Shenandoah land records. They have a website for that. Locate that point on this map. And then these outlines show who owned what parcels of land. And this was Tract 120A, which was 50 acres. Really a slow hike. When you look at my stats, you'll see that the whole hike was only 2.5 miles. But it took me 3 hours and 11 minutes to do it. Pretty flat though, 240 feet of ascent. And that was the hike for today.